Alright, hello to anybody who's found their way to this video. I'm going to do a little voiceover here. You can see I'm cutting the end of the throttle tube. Now this is a 2020 Apollo RFZ 125, and I bought some cheap handguards off of Amazon here. You can see the package that came in. That was it, in a bag. It's my son opening them up. Alright, so first thing you got to do, you got to loosen everything up. Find the right Allen key up underneath. Loosening the throttle there. Okay, you gotta be able to slide it out a little bit. I'm about to grab the hacksaw to chop off the end of it, but you can't do that unless you move it out a little bit because it sits right on the metal. So you see I didn't chop off much here, maybe 1/8 of an inch or so, just to get the grip in the tube. And this hacksaw's got to be like 10 years old. Sitting down my basement, I hardly ever use it. But it did the job. Always throw the tools back wherever you got them from, everywhere. Alright, so now that we did that, take the razor knife, clean it up, because you want to make sure the tube throttle assembly there spins freely. Most importantly, don't cut yourself. And I actually tightened it up before I cut it so it didn't slide on me while I was cutting. So now I'm just going to loosen it up, pull it back on. Okay, I'm ready here. You can see all the hardware. That's the insert. They're the two bar clamps. And then that's the thicker insert to which we need it for these bars. I think one's for a 3/8 opening and then the other one's for a 1/2 inch opening. So you see there I test fitted it. Everything fit pretty good. You can see that's way too sloppy. Alright, so I'm just going to grab the handguard. And you're going to see you got to take the bolt off of both of those inserts because the bolt goes through the handguard and then the inserts go on the inside. I know the camera angle isn't the best here. This is the first time I wore the head mount for the GoPro, so I really wasn't sure on where it should be. Okay, so I just took it off. The bolt's going to go through. The insert goes back on, and then there's the nut on the end that spreads it all out. And then the bigger insert for the thinner bars, bigger opening. Here I'm actually, I'm going to go look online and see what orientation the holes were supposed to be because there's like little gaps in the handguard itself. So I just flipped to the picture to take a look just to see the orientation. Make sure I only do this once. Alright, so that's the bar clamp. I'm going to get that on and get it started. Just everything nice and loose. I've never done this before. This is my first time, so I couldn't find any videos online that showed you how to do this, so I figured I would just throw something together. I mean, I know it's not the best video. It's not the best voiceover, but if it helps at least one person, then it was worth the time to make the video. So here I grabbed the Allen key. I'm just going to tighten everything up just to get it all started. I send my son, my gopher, to go grab me. I don't even know what I told him to go get. I said grab a pair of pliers. He comes out with an adjustable wrench, a pair of channel locks. I wanted the regular pliers. That's how they learn, though. That's how we all learned. Going to get tools for Dad. Alright, there we go. He brought me the small channel locks. So now that I have everything loose on there, I'm going to insert the insert there. I'm inserting the insert. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Now you see there's a space when you tap them in on the end of those hand guards that keeps it away from the tube, which I'll adjust the tube and everything later after I get the hand guard on. So I'm going to pull the nut here. I later realized there should have been a washer between this bolt and the hand guard, and I did go back and put that on. Of course, I got it right on the second side. So there you see some channel locks working as a hammer. It's a multi-tool. So I got the end pretty good. I'm just going to get it tightened up to where I can still tap it around if I need to move it a little bit. Now the RFZ 125 actually comes with breakaway levers that are a little shorter than normal levers. So it worked out really good. I'll tell you what, that bike is amazing. So here you see I'm just going to tap it down because it's on a bit of an angle right now. I want it to be straight. And tighten everything else up. So you see there, I moved the throttle tube, I tightened it up. I'm making sure it's free. And you got the brake lever there. So I had my son sit on it so we could see where the levers felt comfortable for him. And then once he tells me where he likes it, I'll tighten it down. My son is actually 13, soon to be 14, going on 21. And this is the first bike he owned that had a clutch, which he's been doing really good with. It's only a 4-speed, they're all up, but he feels like a big boy. Because his last one, he had a Teo Teo, a 110 semi-automatic, no clutch, just a shifter. So you see there, I'm just double checking everything, making sure it's tight. I think these handguards were like $25 shipped, and they're perfect for him for the trails we ride. Everything's good. Throttle tube spins nice and freely. Here I'm checking the extents. I moved the handlebars all the way to the one side just to make sure nothing pinched. Everything's good. And then obviously on to the second side. Now I always like to start with the hardest first, which was the throttle tube, cutting it down and everything. This side was much simpler. And if you can make it through the throttle tube side, you definitely have no problems with the other side. So you see here that I'm just adjusting it to match what my son liked on the right side, the angle of it. And then once everything's good, I'll tighten it down. You can see the clutch sticking a little there. I'm going to be posting another video on what I did to fix that clutch lever from sticking. It's actually in the side cover plate on the side of the bike. You got to take it out, and then there's this little pin you pull out, and you spray it down with some lubricant. And I know it doesn't have to be perfect, but, you know, I'll be damned if I don't try. I don't even ride the thing, and it would just bother me if I got on it and the two levers were in, you know, one was up higher than the other. Tighten everything down. I think that was an 8mm there. Alright, I think we're ready to cut the grip on the other side. Just gonna cut the end of the grip off there. You can see it was already torn. It actually got damaged in shipping. And they sent us new grips, I just never put them on. I normally like to wait until my son complains about something before I fix it. He's just out there beating the crap on it anyway. Okay, just cut the grip down. You see it's not perfect, doesn't have to be. As long as when you put on the insert and then the silver piece that's on the end, it's like it's probably like a 2.5 mil, maybe 3mm buffer, a little less than 1/8 of an inch. And here I'm just getting it started again. Okay, and then here, that's the nut you take off the end, and you pull the insert off. You put the nut or the bolt through there first, then the insert back on, and then that spreader nut. And then the bigger insert for the thinner bars. I actually tightened it a little too much. I flared it out on the end. Just loosen it a little so I can tap it in. There you go. Beat it in there. Red-headed stepchild. There we go. Get the end on. Pull this other bolt out. Get that started. Always leave everything loose. Get everything started before you tighten anything down. And always hand start everything. It should go in nice and easy. You shouldn't have to force it. If you do have to force it, something's wrong. You're cross-threading it. Here I'm just feeling to make sure I got the levers right. They hang down a little bit below. Which I think that's all HandGuards really. Even the ones I put on my CRF 300L. So here I'm just making sure both sides are even before I tighten it down. And then I'm just holding it in place while I spin the Allen key there to tighten it so that, because naturally it wants to pull up because that's the way you're tightening it. So I just hold it in place. Get it nice and tight. You know, for the $25 HandGuards they are, if they save my kid's finger from breaking and taking them out of sports or not being able to ride, I mean, it's totally worth it. I do think they're a little big for the bike. They look like Dumbo ears on it, I guess. But it's worth it. Alright, everything's tight. And there it is. Everything looks really good.